The rain tastes like iron. Yoon Seola kneels on the execution platform, silk robes soaked crimson, wrists bound behind her back. The crowd screams, asterisk traitor, traitor, traitor asterisk, but the sound feels distant, like she's underwater. She stopped begging hours ago. A shadow falls across her face. She looks up. Prince Seo-jin stands above her, dragon robes pristine despite the storm. His expression is carved stone. No mercy, no doubt. Any last words? Blood spills from her split lip when she tries to speak. She swallows it back, forces the words out. I loved you both. His jaw tightens. That's all. Behind him, Prince Seo-hyun watches from beneath the palace eaves, hand gripping a pillar so hard the wood cracks. His face is twisted, grief, guilt, something, but he doesn't move. He never moves when it matters. The executioner raises the blade. Seola closes her eyes. I won't forget this. The blade falls. White light devours everything. Then, she gasps awake. Silk sheets, moonlight, the scent of jasmine through an open window. Her hands fly to her neck. Smooth, unmarked, no blood. She's sitting up before her mind catches up to her body, pulse hammering, staring at hands that are too young, too soft, with no scars from interrogation chains. A door slides open. A maid enters, concern creasing her young face. My lady, you've been asleep since midday. Are you unwell? Seola's breath stops. Minhee. Minhee died 3 years before the execution. Poisoned in the palace kitchens for knowing too much. What year is it? The words scrape out of Seola's throat. The maid blinks. My lady, it's the 12th year of King Taejong's reign. 5 years. 5 years before the blade. Seola's hands start trembling. She clenches them into fists. Leave me. But my lady. Asterisk leave. Asterisk. Minhee retreats quickly, fear flickering across her face. The door closes. Seola sits in the silence, staring at her unmarked wrists, and something cold and sharp settles in her chest where warmth used to live. She died because she loved them. She died because she was gentle. She died because she believed princes kept their promises. Not again. Morning court 3 days later. Seola stands behind her father as he presents tribute to the king. She keeps her head bowed, posture perfect, exactly as protocol demands. But she feels their eyes. The twin princes sit flanking the king's throne. Prince Seo-jin's gaze is analytical, dissecting her father's every word. Prince Seo-hyun watches her directly, that familiar warm smile playing at his lips. Her stomach turns. She looks away. Minister Yoon. The king announces, voice booming through the hall. Your daughter has grown into quite the beauty. The princes were discussing suitable matches for the spring season. Your Majesty. Seola's voice cuts through the throne room like a blade through silk. Every head turns. Her father's face drains white. She bows low, perfectly formal. This humble daughter requests to be withdrawn from consideration. My health is poor. I would bring only shame to any noble house. The silence is deafening. The king's eyebrow arches. Poor health? You look perfectly. I suffer from violent nightmares, Your Majesty. I wake screaming. Sometimes I harm myself unknowingly. She doesn't lift her head. The physicians say it's tied to my spirit. Incurable. I would not burden the royal family with such a cursed bride. Complete lie, but useful. Prince Seo-hyun leans forward. Surely medical treatment could. I have seen 12 physicians, Your Highness. They all say the same. Her voice stays flat, empty. Some things cannot be cured. Prince Seo-jin's eyes narrow slightly. He's studying her face, searching for something. The king waves a hand. Very well. The matter is dismissed. Minister Yoon, you may go. Her father bows so low his forehead nearly touches the floor. Seola follows him out, spine straight, eyes forward. She doesn't look back. But as the throne room doors close, Prince Seo-jin's chest suddenly tightens. Sharp pressure, like invisible hands squeezing his ribs from the inside. He touches his sternum, frowning. Across the dais, Prince Seo-hyun winces, hand flying to his heart. Their eyes meet. Neither speaks, but the pain lingers for 3 heartbeats before fading. Palace gardens at twilight. Seola walks the path she memorized in her first life. This is where it started. Where Prince Seo-hyun first approached her. Where he picked a lotus flower and tucked it behind her ear. Where he said, "You have the kindest eyes I've ever seen." And she believed him. Where everything went wrong. She reaches the lotus pond. Keeps walking. "Lady Yoon." The voice comes from behind. Familiar. Warm. She doesn't stop. Footsteps quicken. Prince Seo-hyun appears at her side, slightly breathless, that practiced smile in place. "Did you not hear me call?" "I did, Your Highness." "Then why didn't you?" "I have nothing to say to you." His smile falters. Just slightly. "Have I offended you somehow?" She stops walking, turns to face him. In her first life she would have blushed, stammered, apologized for breathing the same air. Now she just stares. His smile is the same. His eyes are the same. But she knows what's behind them now. She knows exactly how long his courage lasts when it matters. "You haven't offended me, Your Highness." Her voice is calm, detached. "But I would prefer you didn't waste your time on someone so far beneath your station." "Beneath?" He laughs, confused. "Lady Yoon, that's absurd. I simply wanted to." "Good night, Your Highness." She bows, turns, walks away. He stands there, hand half raised, words dying in his throat. Then, pain, sharp and sudden like a needle through his chest. He gasps, stumbling back, clutching his robes. It fades as quickly as it came. He stares at her retreating figure, heart pounding. And for the first time in his privileged life, Prince Seo-hyun feels something he can't charm away. The spring festival arrives with cherry blossoms and false smiles. Seola attends because her father insists. She wears gray, mourning colors, technically inappropriate for celebration, and positions herself in the furthest corner of the banquet hall. Noble women whisper as she passes. Asterisk strange. Ungrateful. Cursed. Asterisk. She doesn't care. Lady Hygiene approaches, silk robes shimmering, smile sharp as broken glass. In Seola's first life, this woman became Prince Seo-jin's favored consort. She forged half the evidence, whispered the accusations. "Lady Yoon." Hygiene's voice drips poisoned honey. "How wonderful to see you." Recovering. Seola sips her tea, says nothing. "I heard about your condition." Hygiene leans closer, voice dropping to mock concern. "How tragic. To be so young and so broken. Some say it's a family curse, that your bloodline angered the spirits. Is that true?" Seola sets down her cup carefully, meets Hygiene's eyes. "Some say many things, Lady Hygiene." Her voice is soft, lethal. "For instance, some say your father's gambling debts are being paid by a certain merchant with northern rebel connections. But those are just rumors. Surely baseless." Hygiene's face goes chalk white. Seola stands, bows with perfect formality, walks away. Behind her, Hygiene stands frozen, rage and terror warring across her painted face. Across the banquet hall, Prince Seo-jin watches the entire exchange. He saw everything, read every word on their lips. His chest tightens again, stronger this time. He rubs his sternum, jaw clenching. What is this? Night deepens. Music and laughter echo through the palace. Seola escapes to the outer walls, needing silence, needing air. She finds neither. Running from parties already? Prince Seo-jin's voice cuts through the darkness. He emerges from shadow, arms crossed, expression unreadable. The celebration just started. She doesn't turn around. "Your Highness should return to the festivities. You humiliated Lady Hygiene in front of half the court." She humiliated herself. Interesting perspective. He moves closer. She hears silk rustling, boots on stone. "You've changed, Lady Yoon. People grow up, Your Highness. Not like this. Not this drastically." He's directly behind her now. She can feel his presence like heat. "What happened to you?" She turns, looks up at him. The moonlight carves his face into angles and shadows. In her first life, she thought he looked like a god. Untouchable. Perfect. Now she sees what he really is. A man who chose political convenience over truth. Who signed her death warrant without hesitation. I woke up, she says simply. His eyes narrow. From what? From a dream where I thought princes were heroes. Silence stretches between them like a blade. His jaw tightens. You speak dangerously. Then have me arrested, Your Highness. She doesn't blink. Doesn't flinch. I'm sure you're very efficient at that. Something flickers in his eyes, confusion, then recognition of a threat he can't identify, and then pain. Sudden. Brutal. Claws raking through his chest. He staggers backward, hand flying to his heart, breath cutting short. Ciola watches him struggle. Feels nothing. The pain fades after 5 agonizing seconds. He straightens slowly, eyes wide, staring at her like she's become something dangerous, something unknown. What? His voice comes out hoarse. What did you just? I did nothing, Your Highness. She bows, perfectly formal. Good night. She walks away. He stands there, heart hammering against his ribs, hands still pressed to his chest. For the first time in his calculated life, Prince Seojin feels something he cannot analyze, and it terrifies him. 1 week later, Prince Seohyun collapses during morning sword practice. One moment he's flowing through forms, blade catching sunlight. The next he's on his knees in the dirt, gasping, both hands clutching his chest like something inside is tearing. His instructor rushes over. Your Highness, I'm fine. Hyun waves him off, but sweat pours down his face. His hands shake. You need a physician. I said I'm fine, but he's not. The pain started days ago. Random, stabbing, always centered in his chest. Always when his thoughts drift to her. He closes his eyes, sees Ciola's face. Cold, distant, nothing like the shy girl he met at a festival 5 years ago. The girl who smiled at butterflies, who blushed when he complimented her hair. What changed her? What broke her? And why does thinking about it make his chest feel like it's caving in? Meanwhile, Prince Seojin sits in his private study, surrounded by intelligence reports. He hasn't slept in 3 nights. Every time he closes his eyes, pain jolts him awake. His physician examined him twice. Found nothing wrong. Perhaps stress, Your Highness. The succession weighs heavily. Get out. The physician fled. Now Seojin stares at a blank scroll, brush hovering, trying to think through the fog of exhaustion. The pain started after the spring festival, after she spoke to him on the wall. Asterisk. I woke up from a dream where I thought princes were heroes. Asterisk. What did she mean? His chest tightens again, that familiar crushing sensation. He grits his teeth and rides it out. When it fades, he makes a decision. He summons his shadow guard. Find everything on Lady Yoon Seola. Every record from birth to present. Every rumor. Every whisper. I want to know what changed her. The guard bows and vanishes like smoke. Seojin leans back, staring at the ceiling. Something is happening. Something dangerous and inexplicable. And that cold, broken girl is at the center of it. Court reconvenes 2 weeks later. Seola stands accused. Not of treason, not yet, but of assaulting Lady Hygiene. A servant witnessed Seola striking Hygiene in the gardens. Another heard her cursing the royal family. A third saw her meeting with suspicious figures at midnight. All lies, all carefully orchestrated. Seola kneels in the center of the throne room, wrists bound, head bowed. Deja vu crashes over her in waves. This happened in her first life too. Smaller charges. She was whipped 20 times and sent home in disgrace. It was the beginning of the end. This time she doesn't tremble. Lady Yoon. The king's voice booms. These are grave accusations. What say you in your defense? She lifts her head, looks directly at him. I say, Your Majesty, that liars are richly rewarded in this palace, and those who speak truth are punished for it. Gasps ripple through the court like wind through wheat. Her father goes white as death. Lady Hygiene's face twists with vindictive fury. The king's eyes narrow dangerously. You dare insult this court. I dare speak plainly, your majesty, because I have nothing left to lose. Her voice doesn't waver. False witnesses can be bought. Truth cannot. The king's hand slams against his armrest. Insolence. 50 lashes in the courtyard. Immediately, Seola closes her eyes. Here it comes. Guards drag her outside. Rain begins to fall, of course it does. They bind her to the punishment post. Rip the back of her robes open. The executioner raises the rod. The entire court watches from covered pavilions. The first strike falls. Seola doesn't scream. Blood blooms across her back in a crimson line. In the royal pavilion, Prince Seojin's chest explodes. He doubles over, gasping, hand clawing at his robes. Beside him, Prince Seo-hyun chokes, collapsing forward, both hands pressed to his ribs. Your Highnesses! Attendants rush forward. The second strike lands. Seola's blood splatters the whetstone. Both princes collapse completely. Seojin can't breathe. Feels like his spine is being flayed. Like he's the one tied to the post. Blood trickles from the corner of his mouth. Seo-hyun is on his hands and knees, retching, eyes wide with animal terror. The third strike falls. Stop! Seojin's voice barely escapes his throat. No one hears over the rain. Fourth strike. Asterisk stop. Asterisk, he roars, staggering to his feet, blood on his lips, eyes blazing. The executioner freezes mid-swing. The entire court turns as one. Prince Seojin stands there, shaking, hand outstretched, looking half dead. Stop the punishment. Now. The king rises slowly. Seojin, what is the meaning? Asterisk stop it or I will. Asterisk. Their eyes lock. Something passes between father and son. Something dangerous. The king's jaw clenches. He waves a hand. Enough. Take her to the infirmary. We will reconvene when the princes have recovered. Guards untie Seola and carry her away. She doesn't resist. But as they lift her, her eyes find Seojin's across the courtyard, and she smiles. Just barely. Just enough for him to see. The palace infirmary, midnight. Seola lies face down on a cot, back bandaged, breathing shallow. The door opens quietly. She doesn't move. Footsteps approach, measured, controlled. Prince Seojin's voice cuts through the darkness. Why did you smile? She opens one eye. Did I? When they carried you away, you smiled at me. Perhaps the pain made me delirious, Your Highness. He moves closer. She hears him crouch beside the cot. What's happening to me? Silence. Every time you're hurt. He continues, voice tight with barely controlled fury. I feel it. In here. He presses his chest. Like something is ripping me apart from the inside. My brother feels it too. She turns her head slightly. Meets his eyes in the dim lamplight. How unfortunate for you both. His hand shoots out, gripping the edge of the cot. This isn't natural. This isn't coincidence. What did you do? I didn't do anything, Your Highness. Her voice is soft, almost gentle. But perhaps heaven did. Heaven. He barks a laugh. You expect me to believe. I expect nothing from you. She closes her eye again. I learned that lesson already. What does that mean? It means you should leave, Your Highness, before your brother comes looking and finds you alone with an accused criminal. That wouldn't look good for the succession. His jaw clenches so hard she hears teeth grinding. You know something. You're hiding something. Everyone hides something in this palace. I'm just better at it now. Asterisk now? Asterisk, he seizes on the word. What changed? When did you? Good night, Your Highness. He stays crouched there, staring at her bandaged back, mind racing. Finally, he stands, walks to the door, pauses. I will find out what you're doing, Lady Yoon. I'm doing nothing but surviving, Your Highness. Same as you. The door closes. Seola lies in the darkness, listening to his footsteps fade. Then she smiles for real. Let them suffer. Let them wonder. Let them feel a fraction of what I felt when their blade fell. 3 days pass. Seola's wounds heal slowly. The physicians are shocked by her recovery rate. In truth, she knows exactly how to treat whip wounds now. She learned in her first life during the 3 months in the dungeons. Lady Hygiene sends assassins twice. Both fail. Seola knows their methods, knows their timing. She's lived this part before. The second assassin she catches and turns in to the palace guards with evidence linking him back to Hygiene's household. The scandal erupts overnight. Hygiene is confined to her family estate pending investigation. Seola doesn't attend the hearing. Doesn't need to. She's already won this round. The Lotus Pond. Evening. Seola sits on the stone bench where, in another life, Prince Seo Hyun first told her he loved her, where he promised to protect her always, where he lied. You're avoiding me. She doesn't turn. Doesn't need to. She'd recognize his voice anywhere. Prince Seo Hyun approaches slowly, cautiously, like she's a wild animal that might bolt. I've tried to speak with you 5 times this week. You disappear every time I get close. I'm very busy, Your Highness. Busy doing what? You refused all social invitations. You barely leave your quarters. Exactly. I'm busy being left alone. He sits beside her uninvited. She tenses but doesn't move. The pain, he says quietly. It's connected to you somehow. I know it is. Her heart beats faster. She keeps her face blank. That's absurd. Is it? He turns to look at her. Every time you're hurt, I feel it. When you were whipped, I thought I was dying. My brother felt it too. We both did. Sounds like a medical condition, Your Highness. You should see better physicians. Stop. His hand catches her wrist, gently, but firm. Please, just stop pretending and tell me what's happening. She looks down at his hand on her wrist. In her first life, this touch would have sent butterflies through her stomach, would have made her blush and stammer. Now it just feels like a shackle. She pulls her hand away. You want to know what's happening, Your Highness? She finally looks at him. Really looks at him. Fine. Heaven is making you feel every pain you'll one day cause me. Every wound. Every humiliation. Every betrayal. It's letting you experience in advance exactly what your choices will cost. He stares at her like she's speaking a foreign language. That's insane. You're saying I'm going to hurt you in the future. So heaven is punishing me now. I'm saying nothing, Your Highness. You asked for an explanation. I gave you one. Believe it or don't. But I would never, he stops, swallows hard. I would never hurt you, care about you. I always have. The laugh that escapes her is bitter, cold. You care about me the way you care about a pretty flower in the garden, Your Highness. You admire it. You enjoy looking at it. But when winter comes and the gardener says it must be cut down, you don't save it. You just watch it die and plant something new in spring. His face goes pale. That's not fair. You don't know. I know exactly what you are. She stands. You're a kind prince. A gentle prince. Everyone says so. You smile at servants. You donate to temples. You speak softly and never raise your voice. But when the throne demands a sacrifice, when your brother needs support, when your father orders an execution, she pauses, lets the words sink in. You do nothing. You stand beneath the eaves and watch the blade fall and tell yourself you're still a good person because you didn't swing it yourself. The silence that follows is devastating. Seo Hyun sits frozen, face white, hands trembling. How? His voice cracks. How do you know that? How could you possibly? Good night, Your Highness. She walks away, leaves him sitting alone by the lotus pond, staring at his shaking hands. And as she disappears into the darkness, his chest constricts so violently he doubles over. Pain like he's never felt before, like his heart is being crushed in an iron fist. He gasps for air that won't come, and for the first time in his sheltered, privileged life, Prince Seo Hyun understands what drowning feels like. The royal study, deep night. Prince Seo Jin spreads documents across his desk. His shadow guard found everything. Every record, every report, every whisper about Lady Yoon Seola. Nothing explains this. She was a model daughter, gentle, obedient, educated but not ambitious. The kind of girl who faded into the background of court life. Then 5 months ago something changed. She stopped attending social functions, stopped responding to letters, became cold, distant, sharp, like someone else entirely. Seo-jin rubs his temples. His chest aches constantly now. A dull, persistent pain that flares whenever he thinks about her, which is constantly. A knock at the door. Enter. His brother walks in looking like death. Eyes hollow, face gray. We need to talk, Seo-hyun says quietly. Seo-jin gestures to a chair. About the pain? About her. Hyun collapses into the seat. She knows things, Hyung-nim. Things she shouldn't know. Things that haven't happened yet. Seo-jin's eyes narrow. What kind of things? She described. Hyun swallows hard. She described me watching an execution, standing beneath the eaves, doing nothing while someone died. She said it like she was remembering it, like it already happened. The room goes very quiet. Seo-jin leans back slowly. That's impossible. Is it? Hyun looks up, eyes desperate. Is anything about this situation possible? We're sharing pain with a woman across the palace. Every time she's hurt, we feel it. That's not natural. That's not medicine. That's heaven. Seo-jin finishes quietly. That's what she told you. Not directly, but yes. Seo-jin stands, walks to the window, stares out at the dark palace grounds. If she's right, he says slowly, if heaven is somehow punishing us for something we haven't done yet, then we've already done it, in some other life, some other time. That's insane. So is shared pain across distance. Seo-jin turns. Think about it. She changed 5 months ago, completely, like she became someone else overnight. What if she didn't just change? What if she remembered? Hyun's face goes white. You're saying she's lived this before. I'm saying it would explain everything. Her coldness, her knowledge, her hatred of us. Seo-jin's jaw clenches. And if she has lived this before, what did we do to her? The question hangs in the air like a noose. Neither brother speaks. Finally, Hyun whispers, what do? We find out the truth. Seo-jin's voice hardens. And we make sure it doesn't happen again. But if it's fated, nothing is fated. Seo-jin cuts him off. Fate can be changed. It must be changed. Because I refuse to become the kind of man who makes her look at me like that. Like what? Like I already killed her. The next morning, Seola receives a summons to the palace library. She knows it's a trap. Goes anyway. The library is empty when she arrives. Shelves tower 3 stories high, filled with ancient texts and royal records. Sunlight streams through high windows, painting everything gold. She's examining a scroll on legal precedent when she feels them approach. Both of them. Lady Yoon. Prince Seo-jin's voice echoes slightly in the vast space. She doesn't turn. Your Highnesses. To what do I owe this coordinated ambush? We want answers. That's Seo-hyun, softer but no less determined. The library is an excellent place for those. I recommend the philosophy section. From you. Seo-jin moves closer. She hears his footsteps, measured and deliberate. We want answers from you. She sets down the scroll, turns to face them. They stand side by side. Twin princes, identical faces, different expressions. Seo-jin all sharp edges and analytical intensity. Seo-hyun softer, more openly vulnerable. In her first life she loved them both, died for them both. Now she feels nothing but cold contempt. What makes you think I have answers? She asks. Because you know things you shouldn't know. Seo-jin's eyes bore into hers. You predicted Lady Hyejin's scandal. You knew about the assassination attempts before they happened. You spoke about events that haven't occurred as if you were remembering them. I'm perceptive, Your Highness. You're something else entirely. He takes another step closer. Tell me, when did you die? The question strikes like lightning. Seola's mask cracks for just a second. Just long enough for them to see the truth flash across her face. Then it's gone. But they saw it. I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, you do. Seo-hyun moves to flank her other side. You've lived this before. Somehow. Some way. And we. His voice breaks slightly. We hurt you, didn't we? In that other life we hurt you. She laughs. Comes out wrong, too sharp, too broken. Hurt me? You destroyed me. You took everything I was, everything I loved, everything I believed, and you ground it into dust beneath your royal boots. Silence falls like a blade. How? Seo-jin's voice is barely above a whisper. How did we? Treason. The word tastes like ash. You accused me of treason. False witnesses. Forged documents. Political convenience. I stood in that throne room and begged for my life, and you. She looks at Seo-jin. You looked at me like I was nothing. Like I was an inconvenience to be eliminated. She turns to Hyun. And you stood beneath the eaves in the rain and watched them drag me to the execution platform. You could have saved me. One word from you might have stopped it. But you said nothing. You did nothing. You just watched. Tears stream down Hyun's face. I'm so sorry. I'm so. Your apologies mean nothing. Her voice cuts like glass. They didn't save me then. They won't save you now. Seo Jin's hands clench into fists. If we did that, if we're capable of that, then we deserve this pain. We deserve worse. Yes, she agrees simply. You do. Then why are you still here? Seo Hyun asks desperately. Why come back? Why not just disappear? Run away? Why stay in the palace and suffer through this again? She smiles. No warmth. No mercy. Because this time, I'm going to make sure you feel every second of what I felt. This time, you don't get to stay comfortable while I die. This time, heaven itself will carve my pain into your hearts until you understand exactly what you are. Seo Jin stares at her. You want revenge. I want justice. What's the difference? Revenge would be quick. Justice takes time. She gathers her robes. Now, if you'll excuse me, your highnesses, I have an appointment with the queen. She wants to discuss marriage proposals. Marriage? Hyun's voice cracks. To whom? To anyone far away from here. She pauses at the door, looks back. Don't worry. Once I'm gone, the pain should stop. You'll be free to execute whoever you want without consequence. She leaves them standing there. Two princes. Two guilty men. Sharing pain they earned in a life they haven't lived yet. The queen's chamber is perfumed and elegant. Her Majesty sits on silk cushions, tea service arranged before her. She's beautiful, aging gracefully, with eyes that see everything. Lady Yoon, please sit. Seola bows and kneels across from her. The queen pours tea herself. A significant honor. Or a trap. Hard to tell with royalty. I've been watching you, the queen says conversationally. You've become quite the topic of palace gossip. I apologize if I've caused your Majesty concern. Oh, you haven't. I find you fascinating. The queen sips her tea. You reject marriage to princes. You embarrass powerful ladies. You survive assassination attempts. And somehow, my sons are suffering from mysterious pains that doctors cannot explain. Seola's heart rate spikes. Her face stays calm. I wouldn't know anything about that, your Majesty. Wouldn't you? The queen sets down her cup. Tell me, child, do you believe in heaven's justice? The question feels like a test. Everything in this palace is a test. I believe heaven sees all, your Majesty. Even the things we try to hide. Interesting. The queen's eyes are sharp as blades. And if heaven decided to punish someone for sins they haven't committed yet, would that be justice or cruelty? Seola meets her gaze. That would depend on whether those sins were already committed in another life, your Majesty. Silence. Then the queen smiles. You're clever. Much cleverer than you pretend to be. I'm just honest, your Majesty. Honesty is its own form of cleverness in this palace. The queen refills both cups. I'm going to tell you something, Lady Yoon. Something I've never told my sons. When I was young, before I became queen, I loved someone. A scholar. Kind man. He was executed for treason. False charges. Political machinations. Seola's breath catches. I watched him die. The queen continues, voice soft. I stood in that crowd and I said nothing. Did nothing. Because I was afraid. Because I chose my survival over his life. She looks up. And I have regretted it every day since. Their eyes meet. Understanding passes between them like lightning. Your Majesty. I don't know how you know what you know, child. I don't need to know. But I recognize that look in your eyes. That's the look of someone who watched the people they trusted become executioners. The queen's voice hardens. Don't let it consume you. They deserve to suffer. Perhaps. But if you spend your whole life making them suffer, what do you become? Seola has no answer. The queen stands. There's a merchant caravan leaving for the southern provinces in 3 days. They need a translator. I could arrange for you to join them. New life. New name. Far from the palace. You're offering me escape? I'm offering you a choice. You can stay here and drown in revenge. Or you can leave and actually live. Seola stares at the queen, mind racing. Leave. Start over. Never see their faces again. Never feel the satisfaction of watching them finally understand. She swallows hard. I need time to think. You have 3 days. The queen's expression softens. Choose wisely, child. The dead can't be unkilled. But the living can still be saved. That night, Seola doesn't sleep. She stands in her quarters, staring at the packed bag she hasn't touched since she woke in this second life. Run or stay. Live or destroy. Her or them. A knock at the door. She opens it. Prince Seo-jin stands there, alone, looking exhausted. I need to show you something. Your Highness. Please. The word costs him. She can see it. Against her better judgment, she follows. He leads her through the palace to a locked archive room. Uses a key only royal family possess. Inside, dust-covered records stretch into darkness. I've been researching, he says quietly, lighting a lamp. Every execution in the past 50 years. Looking for patterns. Looking for... He pauses. For you. Her breath stops. He pulls out a record. Opens it. Shows her a name. Lady Yoon Seola. Executed for treason. 17th year of King Taejong's reign. Charges. Conspiracy against the crown. Future date, future death, written in past tense. This record shouldn't exist, Jean says quietly. It's dated 5 years from now, but it's in the official archive, in handwriting that matches the current royal scribe, like someone wrote it down before it happened. Seola stares at her own death certificate. I don't understand how this is possible, he continues, but I believe you. I believe you died. I believe we killed you, and I believe heaven is making damn sure we understand what that means. He sets the record down, meets her eyes. I can't undo what I haven't done yet. I can't apologize for becoming a murderer in a life I don't remember. But I can promise you this. His voice is steel. I will not become that man. I will change. I will be better. I will prove that fate can be rewritten. Pretty words, Your Highness. Then let me prove them with action. He pulls out another document. A royal decree, sealed but not yet submitted. I'm proposing a new law, requiring 3 independent witnesses for treason charges. Mandatory investigation periods. Appeals to the king. It won't prevent all injustice, but it would have saved you. She stares at the decree, at his handwriting, at proof that maybe, possibly, one prince is trying. Why? Her voice cracks. Why do this? Because that pain we feel is not punishment. It's a gift. It's heaven showing us exactly what we're capable of becoming if we're not careful. And I refuse to waste that gift. Tears blur her vision. She hates them, hates him, hates that a part of her still wants to believe. Your brother, she whispers. Where is he? Drafting his own proposal. Reforming the witness testimony system. We're both trying, Seola. Please, give us a chance to be different. The use of her name, informal, intimate, should anger her. Instead, it breaks something inside her. She turns away. I can't go through this again. I can't trust you again just to watch you choose the throne over my life when it matters. Then don't trust me. He moves closer. Test me. Challenge me. Make me prove it every single day. But don't run. Don't let the men we might become win by making you disappear. She laughs through tears. You want me to stay and torture you? I want you to stay and save us. Because if you leave, we'll never know. We'll never learn. We'll become exactly what you saw. His voice drops. And I would rather die than become a man who makes you look at me like that. Silence. The lamp flickers. Seola stands at the crossroads of 2 futures. Run and live. Stay and risk everything again. 3 days, she finally says. The queen gave me 3 days to decide. Then I have 3 days to convince you. Jean bows deeply. I won't waste them. He leaves. She stands alone in the archive, staring at her own death certificate. And for the first time since the blade fell, Yoon Seola wonders if maybe, just maybe, some princes can learn before they kill. Dawn breaks over the palace. Seola hasn't slept. She sits in her garden, watching the sky turn from black to gray to pale gold, and tries to quiet the war in her chest. Trust them? After everything? After the blade? After the blood? After they watched me die and did nothing? A servant approaches, bowing low. My lady. Prince Seo-hyun requests an audience. Of course he does. Tell him I'm indisposed. He says he'll wait as long as necessary. He's been outside your gate since midnight. Seola's eyes narrow. She stands, robes swirling. Fine. Send him in. Prince Seo-hyun looks terrible. Eyes red-rimmed, robes wrinkled, hair falling loose from its top knot. He bows when he sees her, and the gesture is so unsteady he nearly falls. Your Highness looks unwell. I haven't slept. His voice is raw. Every time I close my eyes, I see you on that platform. I see the rain. I see myself doing nothing. He looks up. How do I live with that? How do I wake up every day knowing what I'm capable of? You don't. Her voice is cold. You carry it, like I did. Then let me carry it. He steps closer, desperate. Let me feel that weight. Let me understand. Just, please don't leave before I can prove I'm different. You can't prove that, Your Highness, because you're not different. Not yet. You're still the same man who'll choose comfort over courage when it matters. Then make me different. The words burst out of him. Break me. Remake me. I don't care how much it hurts. I don't care about the pain. His voice cracks. I just can't become the man you saw. I can't. Seola stares at him. This is what she wanted, isn't it? To watch them suffer? To see them broken and desperate and finally understanding? So why does it feel hollow? You want to prove yourself? She asks quietly. Yes, anything. Then tell your father the truth about Lady Hygiene. His face goes white. What truth? That she's been embezzling from the royal treasury. That her family has connections to the northern rebels. That she's been planting false witnesses throughout the court to eliminate rivals. Siola's eyes are ice. You know all of this. Your intelligence network discovered it 2 weeks ago. But you buried the report because exposing her would embarrass your brother, who publicly defended her last year. Silence. How do you? I know everything, Your Highness. Every secret. Every buried truth. Every convenient lie. She steps closer. So here's your test. Expose her. Publicly. In court. Tomorrow. Prove that you'll choose truth over political convenience. That will cause a scandal. It could damage my brother's reputation. Asterisk exactly. Asterisk, her smile is sharp. That's the point. In my first life, you chose your brother's reputation over my life. Let's see if you've learned anything. He stares at her, face white, hands trembling. If you do this, I'll know you're serious. If you don't, she shrugs. Then I leave in 3 days and you become exactly what I remember. She walks past him toward her quarters. Siola. His voice stops her. The informal address. The breaking of protocol. What if I fail? What if I try to be different and I still choose wrong when it matters? She looks back. Then heaven will make sure you feel it. The throne room, next morning. The court assembles for routine business. Siola stands in the back, hidden among lesser nobles. Prince Seo Jin sits at the king's right hand, face unreadable. Prince Seo Hyun approaches the throne. He's shaking. Your Majesty, I request permission to present evidence. The king frowns. Evidence of what? Hyun's hands clench. Of treason within the court. Gasps ripple through the hall. Siola's heart hammers. He's actually doing it. Proceed. The king says slowly. Hyun pulls out documents. His voice wavers at first, then strengthens. Lady Hygiene of the High Clan has been embezzling royal funds for 3 years. These are the ledgers. She's also been meeting with known rebel sympathizers. Here are witness statements. And she's been planting false testimony throughout the court to eliminate political rivals. He looks directly at his brother as he speaks. I became aware of this 2 weeks ago. I buried the report because exposing it would have embarrassed my brother, who once publicly defended her. I prioritized political convenience over truth. His voice hardens. I was wrong. The court erupts. Lady Hygiene screams denial. Ministers shout questions. The king slams his hand down. Silence. Everyone freezes. The king's eyes bore into his son. You buried evidence of treason for political reasons? Yes, Your Majesty. That itself could be considered treason. I know. Hyun straightens. I'm prepared to face consequences. But the truth needed to be told. Across the room, Prince Seo Jin closes his eyes. When he opens them, he stands. Father, I must confess as well. Every head turns. I also knew about the evidence. I advised my brother to bury it. The fault is mine as much as his. The king's face darkens. Both of you conspired to hide treason? We did, Seo Jin says firmly. We were wrong. We're ready to accept punishment. The silence is suffocating. Then, the king laughs. It's not a kind sound. My sons, my precious sons. So eager to protect each other that you'd let corruption fester in my court. He stands. Lady Hygiene will be arrested and investigated. As for you two, you're confined to your quarters for 1 month. No audiences. No duties. You'll spend that time reflecting on the difference between loyalty and complicity. Both princes bow. Yes, Your Majesty. As guards escort Lady Hygiene away screaming. Seo Hyun's eyes find Siola in the crowd. She nods once. Just once. His shoulders sag with relief. And for the first time since his chest started hurting, the pain eases. Just slightly, but enough to breathe. That night, a letter arrives at Siola's quarters. She recognizes Seo Jin's handwriting. Lady Yoon, *, my brother passed his test. I'd like to take mine. Asterisk. Meet me at the West Tower at midnight. Come armed if it makes you feel safer. SJ. She stares at the letter. This could be a trap. Could be an ambush. Could be. She straps a knife to her thigh and goes anyway. The West Tower is abandoned, under renovation. Scaffolding covers the walls. Moonlight streams through broken windows. Prince Seojin stands at the center, alone, hands behind his back. You came, he says without turning. Your brother surprised me today. I wanted to see if you could too. He turns. In his hands is a sword. Sheathed. He offers it to her. What is this? My test. His eyes are steady. In your first life, I signed your execution order. I condemned you to die. So here's my proof that I won't become that man. He takes the sword out and sets it on the ground between them. Kill me. Right now. Take revenge. End this before it starts. Seolah's blood runs cold. You're insane. I'm serious. He kneels. If I'm destined to become your executioner, then let me die before I can. At least then my death will mean something. At least then you'll be safe. Your Highness, you said you wanted justice. Here it is. The life of the man who killed you, offered freely. His voice doesn't waver. Take it. She stares at the sword. At him. At this impossible, infuriating, self-destructive gesture. And if I do? Her voice shakes. If I actually kill you? What then? Then my brother becomes crown prince. He'll reform the justice system like he promised. The kingdom will be better for it. And you'll never have to fear me again. You think your death solves anything? I think it's the only way to guarantee I don't become a monster. Seolah's hands clench into fists. You're not listening. You're still not listening. I don't want your death. I wanted you to choose differently. I wanted you to be better while you were alive, not escape through martyrdom. He looks up, something shifting in his eyes. Then what do you want from me? I want you to live with what you almost became. I want you to wake up every day and remember that you could have been the man who signed that order. I want you to use that fear to make better choices. She steps closer. Dying is easy, Your Highness. Living with the capacity for evil and choosing good anyway. That's hard. That's what I need from you. Silence. Then he stands slowly. You want me to carry the weight. I want you to earn your redemption, not buy it with your blood. He stares at her for a long moment. Then he picks up the sword, sheathes it, sets it aside. All right, he says quietly. I'll live. I'll carry it. I'll be better. Prove it. How? She pulls out a scroll, tosses it to him. He catches it, opens it. His face goes white. It's a list. Names, dates, evidence. That's every person who testified against me in my first life, she says. Every false witness, every forged document, every lie that led to my execution. How did you? I told you. I remember everything. Her eyes burn. Half these people are currently being bribed. The other half are being blackmailed. I want you to find them, protect them, break the chains holding them before they can be used against anyone else. He stares at the list. This will take months, maybe years. Good. That's how long redemption takes. And if I succeed, then maybe, maybe, I'll believe you've changed. He carefully rolls the scroll, tucks it in his robes. I won't fail. You'd better not. She turns to leave. Seolah. She stops. Thank you. For what? For giving me a chance to be someone worth saving. She doesn't respond, just walks away. But as she descends the tower stairs, her chest feels lighter than it has in 2 lifetimes. The next morning, Seolah finds the queen. I've made my decision, Your Majesty. The queen sets down her tea. And I'm staying. Bold choice. Dangerous choice. Maybe. But running won't change anything. The past still happened. Those princes still have the capacity to become killers. Someone needs to make sure they don't. The queen smiles slightly. And you think that someone is you? I think heaven sent me back for a reason. Running would waste that gift. Or perhaps heaven sent you back to save yourself, and you're choosing to save them instead. Seola pauses. Maybe I can do both. Maybe. The queen stands. But remember, child, you can lead them to redemption, but you cannot force them to take it. At some point, they have to choose. And when that moment comes, she meets Seola's eyes. Make sure you're not standing close enough to be cut down with their failure. I'll remember, Your Majesty. Good. The queen walks to her desk, pulls out a document. Since you're staying, you'll need protection. I'm appointing you as one of my ladies-in-waiting. It grants you royal immunity from most accusations and puts you under my direct protection. Seola's eyes widen. Your Majesty, that's necessary. If you're going to antagonize powerful nobles and reform corrupt princes, you need armor. She stamps the document with her seal. Consider it my investment in the future. Seola bows deeply. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. You just volunteered for the hardest job in the kingdom. The queen's smile is sharp. Changing the hearts of princes is harder than changing the course of rivers. Then it's fortunate I've already died once, Your Majesty. I'm not afraid of drowning. 2 weeks pass. Prince Seojin works through Seola's list methodically. He personally interviews every potential witness, discovers the bribes, breaks the blackmail chains. 3 corrupt officials resign in disgrace. 4 innocent servants are freed from impossible debts. Each night, he reports his progress to Seola in the Queen's garden. She listens, critiques, pushes him harder. Minister Cho is still taking bribes. I'm building a case. Build it faster. Every day he's free, he's destroying more lives. Lady Min is being blackmailed by. I know who's blackmailing her. Stop them. That's the Interior Minister's son. I can't just. Can't? Or won't? He grits his teeth, goes back to work. The pain in his chest lessens with each person he saves. Each chain he breaks, he starts to understand. Heaven isn't punishing him for what he'll do. Heaven is training him to be someone who won't. Prince Seo-hyun takes a different path. He begins attending public hearings, listening to complaints from common people. He discovers a dozen cases where justice was bought and sold like rice. He brings them to court personally. Powerful nobles are furious. The prince is overstepping. This isn't his jurisdiction. He's disrupting the social order. Hyun doesn't care. Every night, he meets with Seola and shows her his cases. This woman's land was stolen by a magistrate. Did you return it? I'm trying, but the magistrate has connections. Try harder. This man was imprisoned for a crime his lord committed. Free him. I can't just override. Then what good are you? He goes back, works harder, pushes further, and slowly, painfully, he starts to become someone who doesn't just stand beneath the eaves and watch. But not everyone is happy with the changes. The Interior Minister corners Seola in the palace corridors one evening. Lady Yoon, what a pleasant surprise. She recognizes him immediately. In her first life, he fabricated half the evidence against her. Minister Kong. She bows just enough to avoid disrespect. I've been watching you. He steps closer. Watching how the princes dance to your tune. How they dismantle the very systems that keep this kingdom running. Systems built on corruption aren't worth keeping. Careful, my lady. That sounds dangerously close to sedition. Then arrest me, minister. I'm sure you're experienced at manufacturing charges. His eyes narrow. You speak as if you know something. I know everything, Minister Kong. Every bribe, every threat, every body you've buried to maintain power. She smiles coldly. The question is, do you know that the princes are building a case against you? His face goes white. You're bluffing. Am I? Ask yourself, why have your usual sources gone quiet? Why are your blackmail victims suddenly refusing to cooperate? Why are your allies starting to distance themselves? She leans in. Because the princes aren't just reforming the system. They're dismantling everyone who profited from it. And you, minister, are at the top of their list. This is treason. I'll have you. You'll have me what? Arrested? Executed. She laughs. Go ahead and try. But remember, every pain I feel, they feel. Every wound you inflict on me, you inflict on the future king. Are you willing to make that gamble? He stares at her, rage and fear warring on his face. Finally, he steps back. This isn't over. No, she agrees. It's just beginning. He storms away. Seola waits until he's gone, then leans against the wall, hands shaking. That was reckless, dangerous, necessary. That night, both princes appear at her quarters. Minister Kong threatened you, Seo Jin says without preamble. He did. You antagonized him deliberately, Seo Hyun adds. I did. Why? Seo Jin demands. We were building a careful case. You just forced him into a corner. Now he'll destroy evidence, intimidate witnesses, maybe even what? Kill me? She raises an eyebrow. Let him try. You'll feel every second of it. And then what will you do, Your Highness? Stand by and watch? Or finally prove that you're different? Silence. Understanding dawns on Seo Jin's face. You're testing us. I'm forcing your hand. In my first life, you moved too slowly. Built careful cases while people suffered. Waited for the perfect moment that never came. Her voice hardens. This time, you don't get to be cautious. This time, you have to choose quickly, publicly, irreversibly between doing what's right and what's safe. That's insane. Hyun breathes. That's justice. She looks between them. Minister Kong will make his move soon. Days, maybe hours. When he does, you'll have to decide what kind of princes you are. The kind who protect their people. Or the kind who protect their power. And if we choose wrong? Seo Jin asks quietly. Then I die again. And this time you'll feel every second of it. She meets his eyes. But at least you'll understand what you are. The attack comes at dawn. Seola wakes to the smell of smoke. Fire. Her quarters are burning. She rolls off her sleeping mat, grabs her knife, and runs for the door. It's blocked from outside. Locked, just like her first life. Same method. Same timing. She almost laughs at the poetry of it. Then the smoke gets thicker and laughing becomes impossible. She drops low, crawls toward the window. It's barred. Of course it is. Her lungs scream. Her eyes water. The heat is unbearable. And somewhere across the palace, Prince Seo Jin wakes up burning. Not metaphorically. His skin feels like it's on fire. His lungs won't work. He can't breathe. He falls out of bed, gasping, and realizes she's dying. He's on his feet instantly, screaming for guards. The Lady Yoon's quarters. Now! In the adjacent chamber, Seo Hyun collapses, coughing smoke that isn't there, feeling heat that shouldn't exist. Both princes run. They don't think. Don't calculate. Don't consider consequences. They just run. Minister Kong watches the fire from a safe distance, smiling. Such a tragedy. He murmurs to his attendant. The Lady Yoon, so young, so troubled. They say she set the fire herself. Depression, you know. All those nightmares she mentioned. The attendant nods nervously. Then, shouting, the princes burst into the courtyard, still in sleeping robes, hair disheveled, eyes wild. Break down the door. Seo Jin roars. Guards hesitate. Your Highness, the fire is too. Seo Jin shoves past them, kicks the door himself. Once, twice. Seo Hyun joins him. Together they break through. Smoke pours out. Both princes plunge into the flames. The courtyard erupts in chaos. Minister Kang's smile dies. Inside the burning quarters, Seola has stopped moving. She's curled by the window, knife still clutched in one hand, consciousness fading. Asterisk, so this is how it ends. Again. Asterisk. Then hands grab her. Strong hands. Familiar hands. She's lifted, carried, through smoke, through flames, through heat that should kill them. She feels them stumble, feels their pain mixing with hers, feels them not letting go. They burst into the courtyard, collapse on the stones. All three of them coughing, burned, bleeding, but alive. Seola opens her eyes, sees Seo Jin's face above her, soot-covered, desperate. Sees Seo Hyun beside him, robes singed, hands blistered. You! She coughs. You came. Of course we came, Seo Jin rasps. Did you think we wouldn't? In my first life, you didn't. We're not those men anymore, Hyun says hoarsely. We refuse to be. Seola stares up at them. These princes who ran into fire for her, and something in her chest cracks. Not breaks, cracks, like ice beginning to thaw. The investigation is swift. Too many witnesses saw Minister Kang's attendant near Seola's quarters before the fire. Found the barred windows, the locked door, the evidence of arson. Minister Kang is arrested that afternoon. He screams his innocence. No one believes him. The trial lasts 3 days. Both princes testify personally. On the 4th day, Minister Kang is convicted and executed. Seola watches from the crowd. It's not her execution this time. It's his justice. Finally, that night, Seola finds both princes in the palace library. They're bandaged, exhausted, working through legal reforms by candlelight. Your highnesses should be resting. So should you, Seo Jin replies without looking up. You inhaled more smoke than we did. I've survived worse. We know. Seo Hyun's voice is quiet. We're trying to make sure you never have to again. She sits across from them. For the first time, she doesn't maintain formal distance. You saved my life. You gave us a reason to, Seo Jin says simply. A reason to be better. And, she looks between them. Did you learn what you needed to? We learned that hesitation kills, Hyun says. That careful politics mean nothing if people die while you're planning. We learned that some choices can't wait for perfect timing, Seo Jin adds. That sometimes you just have to act and deal with consequences later. And we learned, Hyun continues, meeting her eyes, that we'd rather die trying to save you than live knowing we watched you burn. Silence falls. Seola feels tears building. Fights them. Loses. I hated you, she whispers. Both of you. So much. For so long. We know, Seo Jin says gently. We deserved it, Hyun adds. But you're not them anymore. She wipes her eyes. You're not the men who killed me. You're becoming someone else. Is that enough? Seo Jin asks quietly. For you to stay? To trust us? She looks at them. These princes who ran into fire, who reformed themselves, who chose her life over their comfort. I don't know, she says honestly. I want it to be, but I'm afraid. Afraid that when the next crisis comes, when the throne demands a sacrifice, you'll revert to who you were. That instinct will override everything you've learned. Then test us again, Seo Hyun says immediately. And again. And as many times as you need until you believe we've changed. Or, Seo Jin says carefully, trust that heaven will keep teaching us. That this pain, he touches his chest, will keep reminding us what happens when we choose wrong. Seola considers this. The pain, she says slowly. You still feel it? Every time you're hurt, Seo Jin confirms. Physically or emotionally. It's constant. Good. She stands. Then you'll feel this. She approaches Seo Jin first. Slaps him across the face. Hard. He gasps, hand flying to his chest as doubled pain blooms. Then she turns to Seo Hyun. Slaps him too. Same reaction. Both princes stare at her. Shocked. That, she says coldly, is for killing me the first time. For watching me die and doing nothing. For being cowards when I needed heroes. They don't protest. Don't defend. Just absorb it. Then Seola does something that surprises even her. She bows to them. Deeply. Formally. And this is for saving me the second time. For running into fire. For becoming men worth believing in. When she straightens, tears stream down her face. I'm not ready to forgive you completely. I don't know if I ever will be. But, she swallows hard. I'm willing to try. I'm willing to see if redemption is real. Seo Jin stands slowly. That's all we ask. Seo Hyun joins him. We'll earn it, however long it takes. Seola nods. Then, impulsively, dangerously, she steps forward and takes both their hands. All three of them gasp as sensation floods the connection. Pain. Shared pain. But also, warmth, hope, possibility. We're connected, she breathes. All of us, through whatever heaven did. Through this curse or gift or punishment. Then we face it together, Seo Jin says firmly. We change together, Hyun adds. We survive together, Seola finishes. They stand there, three people bound by pain and second chances, and for the first time since the blade fell, Yoon Seola believes in tomorrow. 3 months later. The reforms pass. New justice systems. Witness protection. Appeals processes. 12 corrupt officials resign. 8 innocent prisoners are freed. The kingdom shifts slowly towards something better. And through it all, the pain remains. A constant reminder. A teaching tool. A gift. Seola doesn't avoid the princes anymore. She works alongside them, challenges them, supports them. They argue, they clash, they push each other. But they also laugh. They trust. They build something new. One evening, the queen summons all three to her chambers. I've been watching, she says, smiling slightly. Watching you three become something remarkable. Your Majesty? Seola asks. In all my years in this palace, I've never seen princes work so hard to become worthy of their people rather than their titles. She looks at Seola. And I've never seen a woman turn her own execution into a teaching moment for her executioners. Heaven did that, Your Majesty. Not me. Heaven gave you the gift. You chose how to use it. The queen stands. I think it's time you three understood something. That pain you share? It won't last forever. All three freeze. What? Seo Jin breathes. Heaven's lessons have endings. When you've truly learned. When change becomes permanent. The pain will fade. She looks at Seola. The question is, what will you do when it's gone? When you can no longer feel if they're choosing right or wrong? Will you still trust them? Seola's heart pounds. She looks at the princes. They look back. And she realizes she already knows the answer. Yes, she says quietly. I will. Even if they fail you again? The queen presses. Even then. Because now I know they'll fail trying to do right, not succeeding at doing wrong. She smiles slightly. That's the difference. The queen nods, satisfied. Then my work here is done. Your Majesty? Hyun asks, confused. Did you think heaven acts alone? The queen's smile widens. I prayed for you, my sons. For years. Prayed you'd become men worthy of the throne. Prayed someone would teach you what I couldn't. She looks at Seola. My prayers were answered. And now you must answer a question of your own. What question? Seola asks. What will you do with these two princes you've spent 3 months remaking? Will you marry one? Both? Neither? Will you stay as teacher? Leave as stranger? Or forge something new entirely? The question hangs in the air like smoke. Seo Jin and Seo Hyun both tense, clearly afraid to hope. Seola takes a deep breath. I don't know yet, Your Majesty. But I know this, whatever I choose, it will be my choice this time. Not fate's. Not heaven's. Not even theirs. She looks at the princes. Mine. Good answer, the queen says. Now get out of my chambers. All of you. And don't come back until you've figured out what comes next. They walk together through the night garden. Silent at first. Then Seo Jin speaks. She's right. We can't stay in this limbo forever. What do you want? Hyun asks, looking at Seola. She stops by the lotus pond. The same pond where it all began and ended. I want to live, she says simply. Really live. Not just survive. Not just teach lessons or take revenge. I want to feel alive again. With us. Seo Jin asks carefully. Maybe. She turns to face them. You've changed. I've changed. We're all different people than we were. But the future is still unwritten. Then let's write it, Hyun says. Together. What does that look like? She asks. Seo Jin considers. It looks like partnership, like equals, like you having actual power in this kingdom, not just influence through us. It looks like honesty, Hyun adds. No more secrets, no more political games between us. Just truth. It looks like love, Seo-jin says quietly. If you want it, when you're ready, but only if you choose it freely. Seola's breath catches. In her first life, they spoke of love but never meant it. In this life, she sees the difference in their eyes. I'm not ready for love, she admits. Not yet. Maybe not for a long time. We'll wait, they say in unison. What if you meet someone else? Seo-jin smiles slightly. I can't imagine wanting anyone else. Not after this. Neither can I, Hyun agrees. You've ruined us for ordinary women, Seola. She laughs. Actually laughs. The sound surprises all three of them. All right, she says. Here's what I want. I want to keep working with you. Keep reforming this kingdom. Keep making sure you stay on the right path. She pauses. And maybe eventually, see if the girl who loved you once can find a way to love who you've become. That's enough, Seo-jin says. More than enough. That's everything, Hyun adds. They stand together by the lotus pond, and Seola feels it, the pain in her chest. It's fading, not gone, but lighter, because she's learning to forgive, learning to hope, learning that second chances are only valuable if you use them to build something new. Promise me something, she says. Anything, they answer together. Promise me that when the pain finally stops, when heaven decides we've learned enough, you won't forget. You won't go back to being the princes who could sign execution orders. Promise me you'll remember this feeling forever. Seo-jin takes her hand. I promise. Seo-hyun takes the other. We both do. And there, beneath the moon, connected by pain that's becoming something else, something better. 3 people who died and were reborn choose to live. Together. 6 months later. The pain stops. All at once. All 3 of them wake up one morning and the constant ache is gone. Seola tests it. Deliberately thinks of her execution. Of the blade. Of the rain. Nothing. She pinches her arm hard enough to bruise. Still nothing in her chest. Across the palace, both princes realize the same thing. Heaven's lesson is complete. They've graduated. That evening, they meet in the Queen's garden. It's gone, Seola says unnecessarily. We know, Seo-jin confirms. Are you afraid? Hyun asks her. She considers honestly. A little, but not of you. I'm afraid of what it means. That heaven thinks we're done learning. We're never done, Seo-jin says firmly. The pain was training wheels. Now we ride without them. And if you fall? She presses. Then we get back up, Hyun says. Because you taught us how. Seola looks between them. These princes she died hating and learned to trust, and makes a decision. There's something I need to tell you. Something I've been hiding. They tense. In my first life, the night before my execution, I was given a choice. A messenger came to my cell, offered me escape, false papers, a boat to the southern islands. All I had to do was run. Why didn't you? Seo-jin asks quietly. Because I still believed you'd save me. I still thought, even then, that you'd realize the truth and stop it. She laughs bitterly. I was wrong. Seola, let me finish. She takes a breath. In this life, the Queen offered me the same thing. Escape. New identity. Freedom from all of this. 3 days to decide. Their faces go white. When? Hyun whispers. Months ago. Before the fire. Before Minister Kong. Before you proved you'd changed. You almost left. Seo-jin realizes. I almost did. I packed my bag. Wrote my farewell letter. I was going to disappear and let you become whoever you were going to become without me. What stopped you? Hyun asks. You did. Both of you. You showed me that people can change. That redemption is real. That second chances matter. She steps closer. And I realized something. I didn't come back to life to run away from my death. I came back to make sure it never happens to anyone else. Silence. Then Seojin drops to one knee. I can't undo what I did in that other life. I can't bring back the woman I killed. But I can promise the woman in front of me right now, I will never be that man again. Not for the throne. Not for politics. Not for anything. His voice breaks. You are worth more than a kingdom, and I will spend every day proving that. Hyun kneels beside him. I can't apologize enough for watching you die, for being a coward when you needed courage. But I can promise I'll never stand beneath the eaves again. I'll never choose comfort over doing what's right. You changed me, and I won't waste that gift. Seola stares at them, both princes kneeling in the dirt, offering not love but commitment, not romance but transformation, and feels her frozen heart finally, completely thaw. Get up, she says softly. Both of you. They stand. She reaches for their hands. I forgive you, she says, not for what you did, but for what you became. I forgive the men you are now for the men you might have been. Is that enough? Seojin asks. For you to stay? It's enough for me to build a future. Whether that future includes love or just partnership, I don't know yet. But, she smiles, I'm willing to find out. Then we have time, Hyun says, hope breaking across his face. We have time, she agrees, and for the first time in 2 lifetimes. Yoon Seola believes in happy endings. Epilogue. 5 years later, the execution platform is empty. It's been empty for 5 years. The new justice system works. Slowly, imperfectly, but it works. No one has been executed on false charges since Minister Kong. Seola stands in the throne room, no longer a lady-in-waiting but the king's chief justice advisor, the first woman to hold the position. Beside her stand the twin princes, both now fully grown into their roles. Seojin as crown prince and minister of law. Seo Hyun as minister of civil affairs. Together they've reformed a kingdom. Last case, Seojin announces. Lady Park, accused of embezzlement. The woman is brought forward. Seola reviews the evidence, finds the gaps, the inconsistencies, the signs of fabrication she's learned to spot. Insufficient evidence, she declares. Witness testimony is contradictory and unsupported. Case dismissed. Investigate the accusing party for false testimony. The woman breaks down crying with relief. Her family rushes to embrace her. Seola watches and remembers, standing accused, standing alone, no one to fight for her. Good work, Seojin murmurs. Another life saved, Hyun adds. She nods. That's what we do now. Save lives, not end them. After court, the queen summons all 3. She's older now, grayer, but still sharp. It's time, she announces. Time for what, mother? Seojin asks. Time for you to stop dancing around each other and make a decision. She looks at Seola. You've been working together for 5 years. You clearly care for each other. So, what's it going to be? Seola feels her face heat. Your Majesty. Don't Your Majesty me. You've spent 5 years teaching them to be worthy. They've spent 5 years proving it. Either you believe they've changed or you don't. Silence. Seola looks at the princes. They look back. I believe they've changed, she says quietly. And? The queen presses. And, I think I might love them. Both princes freeze. Might. Seojin croaks. She laughs. All right, I do. I love you both. Differently. Completely. Impossibly. Then marry them, the queen says practically. Both of them. Become crown princess. Help them rule. Turn this impossible love into something that changes the kingdom. I can't marry both. You can if I decree it. The queen's smile is wicked. I'm still queen mother. And I say the woman who saved my sons from becoming monsters deserves whatever she wants. Seola stares. You're serious? Completely. She turns to the princes. Is this what you want? Yes. Seojin says immediately. Absolutely, Hyun agrees. Even though it will cause scandal? Let it, Seojin says. We've already changed so much. What's one more tradition to break? We'd rather have scandal with you than propriety without you, Hyun adds. Seola takes a deep breath. In her first life, they destroyed her. In this life, they rebuilt themselves for her. And now they want to build something new together. All right, she says. But I have conditions. Anything, they say in unison. First, I keep my position. I don't give up my work just because I'm crown princess. Agreed. Second, we continue the reforms. Always, no matter how comfortable it becomes to stop. Agreed. Third, the moment either of you starts reverting, the moment you choose power over people, I leave. No hesitation. No second chances beyond the second chance you've already had. They both sober. Agreed. And fourth, she pauses, smiles. You name our first daughter after Min-hee, the maid who died in my first life. So she's remembered. So her death meant something. Tears stream down Hyun's face. Agreed. Seo-jin just pulls her into his arms. Then Hyun joins them. Three people who were connected by pain, now connected by choice. The queen watches them and smiles. Heaven works in mysterious ways, she murmurs. The wedding. 3 months later, the entire kingdom gathers. Nobles whisper scandal. Commoners cheer revolution. Seola walks down the aisle in red silk and remembers walking to an execution platform in similar rain. But today there's no blade. Only two princes waiting with love instead of judgment. The ceremony is traditional in all ways but one. Both princes take vows. Both promise to honor her. Both vow to rule with justice. And when the priest asks if anyone objects, the queen mother stands. Everyone freezes. Then she announces, I object to nothing. This is exactly as it should be. Heaven sent us a gift. We're wise enough to accept it. Proceed. The crowd erupts in laughter and applause. The ceremony continues. When they exchange rings, Seola feels it. A final echo of pain. So faint it's almost imperceptible. Then it's gone forever. Heaven's work is complete. 10 years later, little Min-hee runs through the palace gardens, chasing butterflies. She's 5 years old, with her mother's eyes and her father's determination. Behind her, Crown Princess Seola watches, hand resting on her pregnant belly. Twins this time. Boys. Careful. Prince Seo-hyun calls as Min-hee nearly trips. She just laughs and keeps running. Prince Seo-jin approaches with reports. The southern provinces are requesting. Later, Seola cuts him off gently. Right now we're playing. He sets down the papers, sits beside her, takes her hand. Do you ever regret it? He asks quietly. Staying? Forgiving us? She considers honestly. Sometimes, when I remember the execution, when I think about what you were capable of becoming. She squeezes his hand. But then I look at Min-hee, at the kingdom we've built, at who you've become, and I realize, second chances are only valuable if you use them. We used ours, Hyun says, joining them. You did, she agrees. You became men worth loving. That's rarer than you think. Min-hee races back, out of breath, holding a lotus flower. Mama, look what I found. Seola takes the flower gently, remembers another lotus, another garden, another life. It's beautiful, sweetheart. Like you, Min-hee declares, then runs off again. Seo-jin and Hyun both smile. She's right, Seo-jin says. She is. Hyun agrees. Seola leans back against them both and watches her daughter play. The execution platform is ruins now. Torn down 5 years ago. A garden planted in its place. Where death once reigned, life blooms. And somewhere, she thinks, heaven is satisfied. The end. Or rather, the beginning. Because every ending where the right people survive is just a new story waiting to be told. And this story, this impossible, painful, beautiful story of second chances and redemption, is only just beginning. Final message. Did you watch till the end? Did you feel every moment? That's the power of second chances. That's the weight of redemption. That's what happens when heaven decides to teach instead of punish. Comment below. Would you forgive someone who killed you in another life? Like if you believe in redemption. Follow and subscribe for part 2, The Next Generation. Because Minhee's story? That's just beginning.